Hello crafters, happy Tuesday. I'm Tina and I want to share with you a new series. It's called Try It Out Tuesday, and I thought it'd be fun once a week to be showing you new products that I get, or stamp sets, papers, tools, techniques, anything like that that's new for me. I thought I'd share it with you. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the layering hibiscus stamp set. Now this is the first time that I've ever did a layering stamp, and I have to say it's pretty neat, so I thought I'd share it with you. I just followed the directions that were on the back. You need multiple colors of inks when you do this. I'm starting off with a plain white piece of cardstock here, and then I'm taking the stamp set and I'm going to be taking the base flower, and then you start off with your lightest color. So I have this pale blue. I'm going to add it up there on the corner. I'm going to be making 3 flowers, so now I'm going to be stamping the second. And then I wanted to share with you, earlier today, this is my practice run. I had no idea what I was doing, and before I even looked at the back of the page, I kind of practiced a little bit, and I learned that you need to look at the back of the page to do this. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Now I'm taking the second of the colors and the second of the stamp, and I'm inking it up and just going right over the top. The layers kind of fit like a puzzle, so you just kind of follow the angle around it. I think that turned out so pretty so far. Love that. And then I'm taking the last of the flower and taking a darker color. I'm using a real pretty purple. I thought it would add a little bit more to the card here. Now this stamp set was a little bit out of my comfort zone. I mean, I could color in so nice and easy, but to layer, it was different for me. But I really like it. And I really don't like that center, so I'm taking a different color and I'm going to color in the center with a darker ink. And I like that a lot better. So pretty. Okay, now I'm taking some masking tape, and I want to, the leaves I want tucked under the flowers. So I cut them out earlier, and I'm just covering up the flowers that we had just stamped. And then I'm taking my 2 colors of ink for the leaves. I'm taking the lighter color for the base and just stamping that directly on my card base. Lovely. And then the leaf has two layering stamps, so I'm taking the darker color and just going over the top. It's just a 2-piece. So it was a little bit easier. Lovely. Now when I did the masking, I also masked out the leaves, so I'm going to cover those up because I want a little bit of a background on here. So I'm taking my large stamp block, and then I'm taking this background stamp here. It has little itty bitty words on it, and then I'm taking some Versamark Dazzle. It's champagne. It has a really pretty shine. Really like this, but it's really subtle, which is nice. I'm going to stamp that up there in the corner and then remove the masking, and I really love the way that looks. It turned out really pretty. Now I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I'm going to be stamping "Thanks very, very, very much." Now I have no idea where I got this stamp from. I'm so sorry. I'll tell you guys later on how I stored my stamps. You'll probably laugh. But anyway, I'm covering up the bottom part of the sentiment with some washi tape because I just want to stamp the things. And I think that looks really pretty. I used Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And now I'm going to be cutting out that third flower because even though the flowers have a lot of dimension, I think cards need to pop a little bit. So we're cutting this flower out and we're going to pop it up with some foam adhesive. And we're going to stick that right in the center there. Lovely. Now I'm going to take my white gel pen, and just for added interest, I'm adding little white dots to the center of each of those flowers. And then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella, my clear shimmer pen, and just going over the leaves in the center of the flowers, just for a little bit of oomph. And I think that looks pretty. Now I'm taking my card base. I did something different. I scored it at 2 1/4 and then at 7 3/4. So it kind of is a flapped opening. Kind of turned out neat. I'm marking where that opening is. That way I know I don't need to put foam adhesive right where that is, otherwise you won't be able to open it. So I'm tearing off the backing there, and I'm going to put that right in the center of the card. Erasing my little pencil marks. And I think that's a really neat way to make a card. Now I'm masking off here the thanks, and I'm just stamping very, very much. And I'm going to stamp that directly on my card base, right in the center. And oh, I have made a boo-boo. I should have cleaned my stamp off before I did that, because you can very faintly in the back see the thanks. So I need to come up with a fix for this. So I'm getting my stitch dies out, and I'm taking a smaller square, and I'm using white cardstock. I cut that out, and then I'm getting my Never Fail Love My Mini Misty here. I'm going to put that in the center, and I'm just going to stamp the entire thing to fill in that cardstock there. Should have did this to begin with, but we learn. I'm taking my glue runner, and I'm going to stick that right there, and I stuck it crooked. I'm going to straighten it up here. And actually I like the way that looks better. I think that turned out really neat. Now whenever you're going to notice, whenever I use a colored card base, every time I'm going to take my gel pen and I'm going to do faux stitching around it. For me, I love the way it looks. It makes the card pop when you have white on the colored. So that's what I'm doing here. I just think it adds a little bit more interest to the card. And that's it. That's my new product, my new layering stamp first time card. I'm glad I got to join or got to share it with you. Thanks for joining me, guys. Join me next week.